Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. It's Sovereign Saturday. Protect your boundary. Protect your boundary. Now, I touched on boundaries yesterday as far as the women that you allow within your boundary, but it goes beyond women. You have a boundary. All men have a boundary. At the smallest, the boundary is about 3 feet away from you. All men, or true men, should want to protect their space. That's why some men will get in a fight if you violate their boundary. In fact, let me share a story. The other week, I was at this Asian buffet with my sons. They love the place. They love their sushi and all of that. Now, okay, I'm sitting at the booth with them, and you know, I keep my eyes open. I don't just stare at my food. I keep my head on the swivel. Misspent childhood. But I remember I had just glanced over, and there was a big dude. He was actually grossly overweight. It was a grossly overweight white man, right? Now I remember this dude who looked like he might have been Hispanic or something, right? Like the white man was sitting at this table, and he was there with his woman, but at this point he was there by himself. This guy who looked like he was Hispanic, he came by, walked by the guy and tapped him on his shoulders, right? Just tapped him like a couple times. And this white guy turned around and looked at him. In fact, I said, oh shit. And he just looked at him. And then he just looked at him for a while, then he yelled across the cafeteria thing. He yelled across there to him. And then he actually got up, walked over there, and was like, yo, what's up? I mean, not quite, yo, what's up? But he said something. He was about to fuck him up. The thing this Hispanic dude did, he violated his boundary. You don't touch somebody in public. Because if something had broke down, I'd have been a witness. Because I saw the whole thing, and I was like, oh, shit. And this guy was grossly overweight, but he's one of those older guys. Older men don't play that shit. But he had violated his boundary. And dude was ready, I could tell, he was ready to throw hands. He was, in fact, the Hispanic guy was trying to shake his hand. The other guy just gave him the fist and let him know. But I was like, this is an older guy. But he violated his boundary. You don't touch somebody like that. And to see, he was willing to protect his boundary. Somebody else might have said something. It was like, wait a minute. Nah. And you got to be that way. You have to be that way. You got to protect your boundary on multiple things. Now, that was a personal space, but sometimes on a larger thing. Like I've told the story before when I was living in Edgewood, Maryland. I had this little house, literally had a white picket fence, but it was small, anybody could hop it. I'll never forget, there was a period when young men were going across the yard. Because my wife was telling me, she was like, yeah, I saw this guy coming across, or this. And she actually confronted Ron. Now, I never forget, the way the house was set up, my computer was at the back window. I saw this big young man, he hopped the fence, was walking across. I ran outside, all I had on was some shorts. I have on shoes, socks, no shirt on. I walked over there and just let him know, and I said, nah, take your ass back around, and then tell your friends in the neighborhood, don't come across here. And I ain't have any problems since then. But that was a boundary. I was ready to physically do something about it. And then that's just on a physical level. A man on a mental level has to have boundaries. Like we get constant ideas, thoughts. I mean, just in this space, there's gonna be constant videos. You have the news. You have so much information being thrown at you. Whether it's true or not, it's still being thrown at you. Your boundary is also up here. You got to protect your mind. I'm going to tell you something with me. I get a lot of information. I don't take anything fully into my consciousness. And let me get a little deep there. Everything is going in to the consciousness. That's just our nature. But if it's something that I'm not sure about, I send a critical thought with it. I don't take it fully, and I don't just accept it. And then if it's an idea that goes against my plan, I just simply reject it. But whatever the case, and I send that rejection down into the subconscious too. Like, yeah, it's there, but you protecting. See, you protecting your consciousness. You protecting your mind. Because a lot of people, let me tell you what, there's a lot of propaganda out here. A lot of psychological warfare. Like, I'm talking about being a sovereign man. There's so much out here saying, oh, there's something wrong with that. You know? Now, understand some level of toxic masculinity. You know, if you're doing some abusive stuff. But then they call in just a man just doing what a man really does regularly can be toxic. I remember I was at a retreat, and the young lady didn't use the term toxic, but, you know, we had some men, you know, we saying, hey, we want to protect women, you know, we want to do for them, we want to look out for them, keep them safe, and she called it toxic. She called it toxic. I'm like, hold up. We ain't saying enslave the women or anything or abuse them. We saying protect them from abuse. But we had to check her. But I'm just saying that's just an example of just the ideas around. See, you got to protect your mind too. Like, never accept anything. And I've said it several times on this channel. I appreciate the support. You can listen, but go verify everything I say. Think about everything I say. I don't care what it is. Verify it for yourself. First of all, say, does it work for you? If it don't work for you, it don't work for you. And I've actually had guys say, hey, you know, I moved on, everything, thanks for your help. Okay. Because they doing what I want them to do. And some guys will say, you know what, I applied everything. Boom. That means they're thinking. But just don't follow blindly. You know, protect your mind. Protect your space. You know, protect your boundary. That's very important. Against people, sometimes, unfortunately, against your own friends. They might be telling you something and try to use what you might think of as a friendship to get in there. It's like, no, Think about everything. Think. You got to protect your mind. Don't come under something. You know, you got to protect your physicality. Like the example I used at that buffet, you know, this guy was ready to go to war. Some guy, you know, some stranger gonna walk past you, put their hands on you like that. You know, put their hands on you, shoot, he's ready to protect that. And I'm gonna be real, some places somebody would have just went to his jaw right there. They wouldn't have sat there, they wouldn't have hesitated. They'd be like, what the fuck you putting your hands on? Seriously, there's been dudes killed over there. But they protecting their boundary. Because that's the one thing a man has. And it's not something you pay for. It's not something, it's about the money. It's about your integrity, who you are. Just protecting your space. All right? And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. You want to protect your boundary. Because when you stop protecting your boundary, either physically or especially mentally, that's when someone else has control. If they have control over you like that, you're not sovereign. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for now. Keep rising to become that sovereign man that you are meant to be. Peace and blessings.